All right, welcome, boss, queens, and kings, to the NBR show. I'm so grateful for you guys all out there. I hope you're having an amazing day. I hope you guys had a great weekend. I'm your host, and I'm looking at Facebook too. Yes, welcome, Facebook friends. So I'm your host, Natasha B. Russell, aka NBR. And why do I do the show? I do the show to inspire, to motivate, to empower you, people all over the world, including me, to continue to chase our goals, accomplish our goals and our dreams. And I do that through having speakers on my show, or entrepreneurs, should I say, on my show. I'm an entrepreneur, full-time entrepreneur, and I believe that a lot of us have specific gifts and talents, what I call our purpose. You know, we have these natural talents and gifts and abilities. And when you go into business, the goal is to provide a solution. When you go into business, the goal is to provide a solution, right? And when you're doing that, it's so important to be able to market yourself effectively. It's so important to, especially as an entrepreneur, I feel, to hear stories from other entrepreneurs, other successful entrepreneurs who can share their challenges, their opportunities, their rewards, so that if you're thinking of going down that path, you will go, because you're going to have some research done before. And if you're already an entrepreneur, that you will continue to find other resources and inspiration and empowerment to continue on that journey. Because it's not easy being an entrepreneur, but when you love what you do, success follows in all areas of your life. So welcome to the show. A little bit about me. I'm your transformation coach, your motivational speaker, your communications and public relations expert. I do own an agency. I'm the founder and CEO of NBR Strategic Solutions, and we provide coaching, speaking, and consulting services. In a nutshell, for me, when I think about transformation, what I do with a lot of my clients, I work with men and women. Yes, men and women. It's a transformation of your mind. Your mind. It's so powerful. So when a client comes to me and want to work on their life or their business or their health goal, it all begins with the mind. So I do a lot of mindset coaching, health coaching, habit coaching, strategic planning coaching, because you need a strategy. You need a strategy to succeed in life and in business. I'm going to say that again. You need a strategy to achieve your goals and your dreams. And you need to do that in life and in business. So I also do the consulting end of my business. I have a team of great experts who help you get your brand in the public eye. I, again, just focus mainly on strategy. I also speak, and I have events for men and women. I have a couple events coming up. The third annual Queens Boss Up Seminar. For all you ladies out there, November 20th and 21st, you can join in virtually or in person in Calgary at the Petroleum Club. We will have social distancing measures in place, mask requirements, all of that. It's going to be phenomenal. And I'm also doing my first annual Kings event, Kings Seminar. I'm excited. I have a guest speaker, a phenomenal male executive coach who will be joining me, a doctor. And we're talking about life, business, strategy, and your health, because your health is your wealth. So last but not least, if you want to connect with me, book your 30-minute free complimentary chat. We get a chance to talk about your goals, your dreams, and how I can help you do that, accomplish your goals and your dreams. And you can do that by going to natashabrussell.com. Again, natashabrussell.com. My purpose, honestly, I'm living my purpose. I'm living my dream, and I'm so grateful. Grateful for what I get to do every day, and I'm grateful for you out there. All right, so today's show, I'm excited. We got Kelly Sinclair here. She's amazing. I met Kelly through a friend online, and we connected, and then we started to chat. This was earlier in the summer. She had her Entrepreneur Success Summit recently, earlier in October. Phenomenal. She had women from all over the world, coaches, educators, and I was able to join in and speak. Thanks again for that opportunity. And she's also going to be one of the speakers at my upcoming annual Ladies Boss Up Seminar. And she focuses a lot on brand and marketing strategies, which is what we're going to be talking about today. You must have a passion. If you're in business, well, how do you market yourself effectively? Like I said, there's a variety of strategies and how you can do that. For me, I do PR. It works for me. And I'm looking forward to chatting with Kelly more about marketing. Yes, girl, marketing. So let me give you a little bio, because I'm going to bring her on right now. And she can tell you a little bit more about herself when she joins. But here we go. About Kelly Sinclair. Can I talk today? Kelly Sinclair is your brand and marketing fairy godmother. I like that. She equips passionate entrepreneurs with the magic wand they need to get clear on their message and who they serve, so they can attract their dream clients and grow their businesses, right? Some of us have a lot of businesses, right? So that's good. And in a world where people work an average of 1/3 of their lives, yes, Kelly believes it's so important that work is a source of joy instead of drain. I agree. Do what you love, people. If you're not doing what you love and you're not loving what you do, you have an opportunity to change that. You really do. But it starts with you. She's a corporate girl turned corporate PR girl turned entrepreneur. And she's taken her big brand experiences and brings it to small business owners. Yes, so she works a lot with small business owners. She's a national award-winning communications professional, girl mom of 2, small town girl, and president of the Cochrane and District Chamber of Commerce. Yes, Kelly, I'm excited to have you. So I see you out there. Without further ado, let's welcome her to the NBR show. And for those of you who are out there, I like to say, have one goal in mind. If you're in business right now for yourself, or you're thinking of starting your business, have one goal in your mind. What is it? What's one thing you want to achieve before the end of the year? Put it in the comment section. Let's see if we can help give you some ideas during this session, this chat, to help you achieve that goal. And then last but not least, let me find my beautiful guest and have her join me. So people, put it in the comment section, business goal. What is it? What do you want to achieve? Hey!
Hey!
How are you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm wonderful. I'm great. The weather is nicer here. Like, it was cold, so cold, but now I feel like we got a Chinook today, and it makes a difference. Like, it's all slushy outside, but whatever. I can't complain. What about you?
Yeah, it was like, how dare you do this in October? It's not even Halloween yet. Come on. Yeah, it's okay. It's all good. It's good.
Oh,
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. I'm so happy to have you here today. And I know that we've connected before, but for the people that are out there, and I gave your nice bio, but just tell me a little bit more about who are you? Who's Kelly Sinclair?
Yeah, I know. I was like, that was the hardest question on the sheet that you gave me. Who am I?
know,
right? Aren't we all going through life trying to figure that out constantly?
Yeah,
right?
It's evolving. Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's true. It's true. So yes, I'm Kelly. I am a brand and marketing strategist, aka recently really rolling in this brand fairy godmother thing. So this let me tell you the story about how that came to be, actually. Because I was working with a coach one time, and we were doing this kind of like visualization exercise about your life purpose and everything like that. And she tells me, she's like, I'm seeing a fairy godmother. And my jaw just dropped, because when I was 4, I told my mom I wanted to be a fairy godmother when I grew up. And I called my mom. I'm like, I did it. And the fairy godmother, to me, it's all about like the behind the scenes, right? I'm like behind the scenes, like transforming the other people. I've been like, you and I both do PR, right? It's always behind the scenes, You're giving them the messages, you're giving them the tools, you're giving them what they need to shine. And I think about that when it comes to branding, is I help business owners really step into their brand so that they can shine and attract their ideal clients to them so that they can grow their businesses.
I love it. It's so true that when you're in PR, you are behind the scenes a lot. You make the magic happen, right? You make everybody look good. You develop the key messaging, and the brand is so important. I think a lot of people don't really understand what branding really is. And the way I define branding is, how do people feel about your brand? How do people feel about you, your company, your product, or your service? What are they saying about you when you leave the room? What's that emotion that resonates with them when they interact with your product or your service? How would you define brand, Kelly?
Yeah, so I have to do that a lot, because especially when I'm talking about branding and I'm talking about marketing, and people are like, what's the difference, right? So I say your brand is who you are, and marketing is how you tell people about it. So you need both of those pieces together. You need to understand the inner workings of like what you stand for as a business, as a small business, whatever size your business is. You have values, right? You have to create, like I have what I call my magic brand formula, and it goes like this. It goes who you are plus who you're for plus why it matters. So you figure out how you carve out your piece, what makes you shine, what makes you special, what makes you stand out. Then you figure out who you're for, because it's compatibility, right? You are not for everybody. You cannot serve everybody, not even if you tried to. Right? So you have to be clear about that. And so many people get a little bit nervous about the idea of like really putting maybe a boundary around, a definition around who your ideal client is, right? Yeah. And then it goes into why it matters, because you have to be able to communicate it. You have to have messaging to be able to share what makes you unique, how you stand out, who you're serving, why they should care, how you can help them, all of those things.
I love it. Exactly. Like, and I can relate to that. So the funny thing is when I studied marketing, like when I did my degree at Mount Royal, we both went to MRU.
Yeah.
I was taught marketing by Nenshi, and one thing, our mayor in Calgary. And I remember him saying this: when you're marketing to everyone, you're marketing to no one. And again, people out there, when you're marketing to everyone, you're marketing to no one. And when I started my business like 3 years ago, for some reason, Kelly, I thought I could I know the rule, but I'm not going to apply the rule, right? I could go without it. No, people, you need to have your USP, your unique selling proposition, what makes you unique. And you have to be able to think about your audience. Like, who is your audience? What is their pain point? What is your solution to that pain point, so that when you're marketing to them, you're speaking their language. They can feel that whatever the solution is that you're providing, they can feel that, like, oh, this person really gets me, and it resonates. But when I started out, Kelly, I was spending thousands of dollars marketing to no one, because I knew that. But I was like, oh, I want to help everybody. Nice. But I was like, soon, very quickly, when the phone wasn't ringing and I wasn't getting clients, I'm like, okay, Natasha, like, let's apply the rules. So it works, people. You really need to get super clear on who you are, who you're serving, and how you're going to serve them. And you got to communicate it, and with confidence. That's really a big part of my brand, is confidence. Be confident in who you are, not arrogant, but be able to show up and share your uniqueness with the world in however way you see fit. So I want to ask you a quick question about funny facts, things somebody, maybe even your family members, wouldn't really know about, Kelly. Do you have one to share?
Well, I sort of in my bio, but I am a small town girl. So I grew up on an acreage just north of Cochrane, Alberta here. And so I lived in the country, basically. I went to a little tiny school with one hallway in it. And I did things like line dancing and 4-H when I was a kid. So the 4-H program is a youth, like, kind of like Girl Guides, except my project was that I would have like a steer. So I raised cattle from the age of 9. But you know what? And so as it turns out, I was an entrepreneur since the age of 9, because that project, I would buy it. I would track like how much it cost to feed it. I would, keep records about it. And then I would sell it at the end of the year. So I made money every single year on selling this steer, for meat. And, I cried a little bit the first time, but then I got the paycheck and I was like, oh, this is awesome.
My hard work paid off, right? So
yeah.
As early as 9, you've been entrepreneur. That's exciting. And I used to have farm girl, small country, or town, which is great, because I find in those settings you're able to build better relationships, which is a big part of PR, right? And people know you in your community. So that's awesome. What would you say, or who would you say inspires you? Who or what inspires you?
Like entrepreneurs. I mean, it kind of sounds cheesy, because that's who I created my business for entrepreneurs, because like you said, I used to work in corporate PR. I used to work downtown Calgary. I used to work for a big agency. I used to work for multi-million-dollar companies and big issues, and like pipelines and oil sands and things like that, like very relevant in Calgary. But then actually in 2017, my mom passed away. And when that happened, I just stopped what I was doing, because obviously you need some space. But I was like, no, I'm not going back to that job. It was just one of those moments that makes you like question everything that's going on and what your priorities are, right? So I looked very hard at them and had the opportunity to do that. And I thought, no, I want to spend more time with my family. I want to not drag my kids out of bed at 6 a.m. and be away from them for 11 hours so that we can like rush home to try and feed somebody and then like have zero quality time. Yeah. So I looked around my community here in Cochrane. We actually have a lot of entrepreneurs. And to me, what I saw was these business owners who were really trying hard to do the thing that they loved. Like, when you start a business, right, you have something in your heart that is telling you like, I have to do this. I love this thing. And so I saw them like also struggling though, right, with marketing, because they would go, do all the things they had to do to, open the restaurant. They'd flip the sign around and then like cross their fingers and wait for people to come in. Yeah. Right. So I thought, well, I can have some skills. I can help these people. So entrepreneurs continue to inspire me. And the more that I meet, new clients and such, it doesn't matter what industry they're in. I was talking to a guy, Natasha, the other day. He sharpens knives, but he loves it. He's just like going off about how to sharpen the knives and maintaining them properly and doing demos, like video demos on how to cut on the paper. And I'm going, yes, it's amazing to see when they just pour their passion into something. So I love being able to be a part of that and help them to, like, they inspire me, and then I can help them to create, more abundance with that joy, with that passion that they have in their business.
I love that. And I can relate to your story because, again, we're both corporate girls. That's our background, working for, multi-billion-dollar companies, doing their great work, their PR, their communications and all of that. But it's not fulfilling when you're not doing what you were born to do, which is why I talk about your purpose. Like, we all have a purpose, and it's something that naturally you would enjoy doing, even if you didn't get paid for it. But when you go into businesses, you have to get paid for it. But it's finding that, and like you said, that guy sharpening the knives, like, he just loves it, right? And there's somebody who needs that, somebody who needs to learn that tactic or that skill. Like, I love to cook. The other day, yesterday I was making some butternut squash, and I was like, Natalia, to my daughter, I'm like, I think we need sharper knives because this is like a struggle to like peel this squash.
I was so nervous from your video. I was watching you cut that thing. I was like, oh, she's going to cut her finger off. Like,
I did it. My fingers are all intact, people.
Oh,
but I was
good.
like, maybe I need some sharper knives. So it's funny how you just said that. Here's somebody who does sharpening knives as a business owner for a living. The thing is, the world needs what you have. I always say the world needs what you have. And the greatest thing is that we all have something different. So it's how do we market more effectively? And we're talking about, amplifying your passion. Like, people need what you have, but if you don't share it with anybody, if you don't market it, that word sometimes that we hate hearing as business owners, marketing, then how do people know about it? So it's so important. So I love what you said about your story and how, we relate there. And when you find what you love, isn't it a joy to wake up? You have more time with your kids. Like, I have more time with my daughter. I can set my schedule. I too work with mainly entrepreneurs, leaders, CEOs, but the fact that you get to do what you love every day with purpose, how is that like there's no price that you can put on that. Of course you get the money too, but it's right? It's
I feel this, like, I do this all the time. Like, it's like alignment. It's like you wake up in the morning. It sounds like a dream, really. You wake up in the morning and you know without question that you can make decisions and that you're going in the right direction. Like, even if sometimes it's hard because you don't see results right away when you're working towards something, right? But you just still know. You still know that this is what I need to do now, and that I need to focus on this. Like, I can say that I feel like I have been climbing a mountain with my business for the last year at least. Well, really 3 years since I started, but for sure the last year I made a decision to sort of change the way I was going to deliver my services. Instead of doing like consulting one-on-one, I was going to like package kind of more coaching way, like teaching people how to do it. And I just feel like, the hill, and it gets steeper and it gets steeper, and then you're like, and you're going, but you got to keep going. And now I feel like I think I can see the top. So I'm like running, trying to get to the top because I know it's there. I just know. Like, no, there's no book to read. There's nobody to like tell me yes or no. There's necessarily like results to see sometimes. It's just like a feeling. And I want that for everybody.
I love it. And that's the thing, right? It's like you just talked about sometimes what you're doing now, and for the people out there, you might be doing so much work, but you don't see the results, the ROI yet. But I use the analogy, it's like planting a flower or a garden, right? You got to keep watering it. And eventually that beautiful flower will blossom, or that garden will sprout. So a lot of times what we don't see is happening undercover. So don't give up, people. Let's keep going towards our goals and our dreams. So let's talk a little bit about challenges, because you're sort of alluding to that. But as an entrepreneur, anyone who said they haven't had any challenges, I wouldn't believe them. Like, there are challenges. What challenges have you experienced personally in your business that you wouldn't mind sharing with the people out there and the people who will watch?
So Natasha sent me the questions in advance, and I started answering this one, and I was like, oh no, that list is too long. I've had every challenge, the challenge of not being able to find clients, the challenge of having not enough work, the challenge of having too much work and trying to manage your capacity, the challenge of time management, self-motivation. Like, when you work by yourself, you have to be pretty like motivated to to actually put in the time and do the work and take the steps, right? The challenge of like, I don't know, I guess one example I can share, because I know it leads into sort of other things I'd like to say is like, I got really committed to an idea. I was like, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to host this workshop. Okay. So I got like so excited. I'm like, this will be a great workshop. I picked a date. I booked it. Like I went into the venue and I put out a deposit and I was like, yeah, this is awesome. I feel like on fire because I took action. Right.
Yes.
And nobody came to the workshop. Right. So I stopped and I was like, all right. I went to the venue I had booked. I spent that whole time reworking the idea, like figuring out how I'm going to do it better next time. When am I going to launch it again? What's it going to look like next time? How do I do a better job? How do I reach more people? How do I, get people to say yes? Like what was wrong? And like doing that whole evaluation. Like it was one of those moments where it was like, yeah, that kind of sucked.
And that's
but
okay.
anyway.
Because you got up and you went again. And I know, like, I don't know if you know who Tyler Perry is, but yeah, he's pretty, like, he does all like the Tyler Perry shows. Like, he's very do you know who Tyler Perry is? I mean, I'd assume that you don't know.
I feel like that. Are you talking about the actor?
Yes, Tyler Perry. Yeah. So his story, he started out when he was doing his plays. And because I watched one of his videos like years ago and I just loved it. And he talked about how he'd have these plays, he'd put on these shows, nobody would come. Empty, to the point where he became homeless. He was contemplating suicide, but he just kept going at it. And now he's like a billionaire, like doing what he loves, right? So a lot of times people, I always say, you never fail unless you give up. It's how do you never change the goal, but change the strategy, right?
Yes.
There may have been something missing. So good on you for keep going, because you had literally a sold out event the other day online at your Entrepreneur Success Summit. You had I'd say about 200 people who came or around
there was like 250 signed up. So hey, thanks for pointing that out. Like in less than 18 months, I went from 0 to 250. So there.
Exactly. So let's talk a little bit about some of the rewards of being an entrepreneur.
I think it's just like I spoke to, that feeling of knowing that you're doing what you're meant to be doing. That ability. It's really around freedom of choice. Like I have flexibility to choose the kind of work I want to do, to choose when I want to do the work, to choose, what my own schedule. Like I get to choose those things. I get to choose, like I define success. Actually, I posted a reel, I think it was this morning. Like success is walking my kids to school every day.
I saw it.
That is my top level definition, that I get to do that, and I'm doing it even when it's freezing cold outside, and I'm like, this is because it means something to me. It means that I'm not, I guess you're causing me to reflect like quite a lot in this conversation.
I'm not going to do a coaching session right now, but I'm just literally...
It's just like magical breakthroughs come out regardless. That's what the NBR effect. Ooh, you have to use that. I know, NBR effect. Anyway, it was coming from the fact that I spent so many hours on the road when I went back to work. So I moved out to Cochrane from the city. So now it was for me to get to work to my office after my maternity leave was like an hour almost drive. And so that's spending at least 2.5 hours on the road all day, just going, this is such a waste of time. Like, I don't want to be sitting in a car. As much as I enjoyed that I got that time with my husband, we drove together. Yeah. I was like, no, I do not want to get up before 5 a.m. Like 4:45 is when I had to get up. I had to get my kids out of bed. Like, it was just, and now I'm like, I can walk my kids to school. And that to me is like a huge full circle.
I love it. And some people may not be like, they may not get it. They don't have kids, but I think it's the freedom, people. It's the freedom to create your own schedule, doing what you love. Like every day you get excited to wake up to say, who do I get to serve? Like for me, I got to a point in my career, in my corporate, like, yeah, great money. And I still make great money, thankfully, because I know I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. But it got to a point where I was so drained every day. I was like, do I have to get up and go here? Not that it wasn't a great role, but I was like, I don't want to save energy, help people save energy. I want to help save lives. And it was the fear factor. A lot of times we don't go into business field because we're afraid. fear of failure, fear of what if nobody buys my product or my service. But I always said this, I would rather go out there and try and know that I put my best foot forward versus staying in something that was comfortable. And a lot of us do that. We stay in our comfort zone because it's so cozy, but we never get the chance to really grow and step outside and see what's on the other side of the unknown. And it's beautiful when you do, people, though. It really is. But you need to have a strategy. I always said this. Before I left, I had a strategy. So I knew what it was going to look like. Don't go out blinded. Like, have an idea of what your goals are, how you're going to market. And we're going to get into that because I know a lot of you are online wanting to hear some of Kelly's marketing secrets, your fairy godmother secrets. Magical fairy secrets. So why don't we jump in? Let's talk a little bit about what marketing strategies can you share with people out there who may be just starting their business or they're in their business and they're realizing, oh my gosh, I'm not getting sales. Is there anything any tips you can give them?
Yeah, this is really going to blow your minds, guys. It's all about relationships. Like, it's about talking to people. You can't sit behind a screen. I know so much of our marketing now is very digital and feel almost like you could sit behind the screen and like program the Facebook posts and, do whatever. But there's a disconnect when you don't have the relationship piece. And I think this comes from the PR background, right? It's you go out, you find the people that you want to be around. You find the people who can help you find the people that you want to be around, and you talk to them. So when you're using Instagram, I was sharing this with somebody earlier today too, like send a direct message to people, send a voice memo, send a video. Like that takes you like from a random text or a passive post to like, hey, this is a real human back here. Like, remember that you're a real human behind the scenes, right? When you're in social media, especially.
I love that. And that is a great tip. And that's the thing, it's PR. Like, I don't do a lot of marketing. I market my events, but I don't market my services really because it's relationship building. And I'm glad you noted that because now we're in this world of everything's digital. And what do when we have an Instagram post? The truth is though, there's so many, like you post, it's gone, like within a second. People are just scrolling. So you have to get their attention and you have to add that authentic personal human touch. So for example, even on LinkedIn, when people message me or they send me a request and I look at their profile, I'm like, okay, so I accept, then automatically you get like this pre-programmed. Have you had that? A pre-programmed response like, hi, Natasha, I noticed that, da-da-da-da. And I already know what it is. It's sort of like building you to the funnel, right? I'm like, then I'll respond just to be cheeky sometimes, Kelly. I'll be like, is this like scripted or is this actually you that just wrote this? And 9 out of 10 I was like, oh no, it's not scripted, even though you know it's scripted, right? Because it's the way you're talking to me, it's like if you're a robot or something, right? No. Yeah. So people, what I'm trying to say here is be authentic. And I like what you said, Kelly. Send a voice memo, connect with people, send direct messages, add that personal touch so that people don't feel like just an item, to be quite honest. Like just like marketing should be, I think that's why I never usually liked marketing, because I looked at it as sell, buy. And people are like, you'd be such a great marketer. I'm like, no, I don't do marketing. I do PR. I like building relationships. And from building relationships, naturally, whoever needs your services are going to gravitate towards you and vice versa. It's an exchange, right? Mm-hmm. So if you have a business out there, find a way to add your personal touch on social media. Anything else you want to share? What else? And if you have questions for Kelly, people, I have her here for the
drop questions. Drop questions.
Questions.
Shout out to Paris if you're still watching. I see a comment from you. Hey, Paris. So 2 things. One, the other thing there, like that whole like pitching on LinkedIn, and I get those emails sometimes too from like, hey, your Instagram looks really cool and we could do this for you. And it's like, hey, it's like, I don't even know you. Why are you trying to sell to me? So don't do that. You can't just go straight for the sale. It's service over sales. Service leads to sales, right? So when you actually are helping people or creating a relationship or doing something that adds value to them, then you get yourself permission to sell later when it makes sense, right? It's not like, hey, I'm Kelly, you want to join my program? It's like, what? Who are you?
No. Who are you?
And then the other thing you said there that kind of made me think is, so I also don't necessarily love the term marketing. I feel like people maybe just know what that is more than they know what PR is, or they have that bad perception of what PR is. It's like, ooh, it's spin, and where we make things up and we lie. Like
Yeah.
that's what some people think PR is, right?
Yeah.
So I use the term marketing because to me the only difference is it's like the end goal is to sell something, versus in a lot of PR work that I did, the end goal was to shift perceptions, or like basically influence people to make decisions. It wasn't about necessarily selling a product. In fact, it was never about selling a product, what I did.
Right? And I love that. It's all about, we have a question for you. It's all about adding value. Value people. When you, I'm a big believer on this. Like, see how you can help someone first. Like, truly, genuinely, you want to add value. And then it's not like, hey, I'm trying to reach out to you just because I need something from you. But no, I noticed you're doing this. Have you thought about this? Or can I add some value to make your service offering better, or your product, or help you out in your business or your life? Naturally, when you're genuine about it, you'll never lack for anything. I honestly am a big believer in what you put out, you receive. So
Yeah.
think about your intention behind why you're connecting with somebody. Are you just connecting with them just because you want them at the end of the day to buy something? Like, hey, how are you doing? How's your day going? Oh, just so you know. No. Get to know that person. Get to know their pain points and things that they're experiencing, and connect on that level. One thing too, I want to know, I'm working more on being more, I say vulnerable, more like sharing more about my life too, not just business. So people can get a feel for who I am as a person, because I am essentially my brand. And I think that's important in business out there. People need to see you too. Like, who are you? What are you about? What do you value? What are you connected to? And naturally they're going to want to resonate with you, or they will resonate with you based on shared values, shared hobbies. Who knows what they might connect with you on, and then be like, hey, I know a brand strategist and blah, blah, before you know, or hey, I know a coach that does this. So great. You got a question. Claire, sounds like it's around mindset. How do you keep your habits going and a positive mindset, Kelly?
I just really believe in something that you said earlier, which is that you can't fail if you don't quit. And, it is about habit building. That's such a good point. And if I could be even more specific to habit building around taking action in marketing, marketing is momentum. The act of going out and talking about what you do, the act of teaching, sharing your expertise with others, the act of, making a video, or like just talking about it, like doing more of these things. I am getting like filled right up right now because I'm here, I'm talking about what I love, and it's ingraining in me even more. If you like kind of sit back and you don't talk about what you do very much, it's going to be hard when you go and do it. And then it'll be intimidating for you. And then maybe won't do it again, right? Like, you have to keep taking action regularly. So like that is my key advice to success in habit building, is like, just keep doing it. If for you, that you don't do it unless you give yourself a deadline, put it in your calendar. Like, give yourself 30 days. You're like, I have to show up live once a week for 30 days. By the end of those 30 days, it will be a habit. And then all of a sudden you'll be like me, and 75 weeks later, you will have created 75 live Facebook videos. It's a habit. I'm loving the hearts. That must be you, Paris.
I love it. Thanks for reiterating that, Paris. You can't fail if you don't quit, people. Don't forget that. A lot of times people say, oh, I failed many times, but I always say, don't say you failed, because you're still going. You only fail when you give up. That's when you become a failure. And a lot of times, again, I'll reiterate this. You may have this goal and it may seem so big and so grandiose, but if you thought about it, then you can achieve it. You may just need a different strategy, a different route to get there. I also want to talk about habits, because I'm really big. That's a big part of what I do, is habit coaching. How do you think? What are your thoughts? Because a lot of people don't realize how powerful your thoughts are, that our thoughts create our realities. And this is not just me saying stuff that sounds fluffy. It's proven scientifically. So what are you thinking about? Are your thoughts positive every day? Are you thinking you're going to fail? Or are you thinking you're going to win? Are you thinking you're going to do great in whatever you're purpose to do? Or do you think you're going to not do well? Whatever you're thinking up here will always resonate in how you speak, your body language, and what you attract. And for me, you said 30 days. I believe it takes like 90 days, I think, in the sense of having a habit that becomes your lifestyle. Definitely 30 days to create the habit, but then to make it a part of your lifestyle. So for example, this morning, like every morning I get up and I do 30 minutes of cardio on the treadmill, no matter how I feel. And yesterday after all that squash, I was so full. And my daughter made cupcakes and I had one and then maybe another one. I was like, this morning, girl, the run was so hard. But I still did it. And the thing about it is, people, when you keep these healthy habits, whatever it may be doing, like Kelly's saying, showing up on live. I'm going to be on a live one day or once per day or once a week. When you commit to yourself and you honor that commitment, you feel amazing. That in itself is a win. Even if you don't attract the end result right away, people, it's still a win. Why? Because you made a commitment to yourself and you stuck with it. So a lot of times that's what it's like in business. You said you're going to start this business. There's probably a lot of people like me who, when I said I was leaving corporate, thought I was crazy. What are you doing, girl? What do you mean? Like, you got it made over there. Stay put. I'm like, no, I know that this is my purpose. I got to go out and do it. You have to focus on the positives, people. And like Kelly was saying too, you got to be motivated, self-motivated, because there's going to be times where your brain will try to trip you up, or people might come and be like, girl, like, you've been doing this for a while. Maybe you haven't seen that big grandiose result yet. Keep going. It's right around the corner.
I think I heard it said once that confidence comes from keeping promises to yourself. So like, because confidence should never be something that you get from an external source. Like, you shouldn't be saying like, oh, when, you know, I get the client, or when I make the money, or when this person acknowledges me, then I will be confident. It's like, I said I'm going to do something, I did that thing, and now I feel good and I can keep going and do it again. And when it comes to habits, another thing I wanted to add was just like baby steps, guys. Like, don't be crazy. Don't be like, you know, I know you probably say this in health coaching. If somebody's like, I currently sit on the couch all day, every day and eat potato chips, you're not going to now say, let's go to the gym 5 times a week. Like, they're not going to do that. It's going to be like once a week, right? And then a couple times, and then it'll grow from there. And the same, I use live video as an example because it's something that people often don't want to do. Reese is like, you calling me out, I'm on it.
I know. Is that what she's saying?
Something people don't want to do, but you do it, and then you kept that promise and you showed up and you're like, great, I got one crappy one out of the way. I went to the Influencer Summit last year in San Diego, and Rachel Hollis was there, and she's written, do you know how many books she's actually written? 8. Do you know how many that people know about? 2. Right?
Yeah, I know about 1.
1, maybe 2, right? She's written 8 books, right? She's like, you have to be willing to put out crap. Go suck at something. Just get it out of the way. Yeah. And then you'll get to the good one later.
Exactly. It's so true. I saw her when she came to, I like Paris out here. You're giving me jokes, Paris. I want to meet you. Quickly, so I don't lose my train of thought. When I thought there's lipstick on my teeth. Anyway, sorry. I saw Rachel Hollis when ladies are like, this is the most, anyway. I hope you guys are enjoying the show. I sure am. I saw Rachel Hollis when she came to in August with Tony Robbins.
I was there too.
Were you there?
Yeah.
That's a whole nother story. I want to talk about opportunity quickly there because, okay, quick story at Tony Robbins. I paid for the VIP event, the VIP seating, which was expensive. I think it was like $600-700. But I'm like, you know what? People invest in what you want. I know that Tony Robbins is somebody that honestly I admire, and I want to get as up and close and personal to him as I can. And then you had the option to go for the lunch and meet the speakers. So that's why I'm like, this is a good investment. Now I was in the rows when I came in, I was like probably 8 rows back, or I was on the, I don't know, like toward the end of the VIP section, but there was a front row seat available. And I thought to myself, well, hey, I paid like $700 for this ticket. Shouldn't I be at the front? There's one seat available. Now we went on the break, washroom break, and I remember saying, everybody come back. Okay, you have your seats. And I said to myself, this is about opportunity, people. Sometimes opportunity's in your face and you don't take it. You don't step forward out of fear. And I thought to myself, well, this seat's empty for the first portion. There's nobody sitting there. I paid VIP. Why am I not in the front seat? I went up, Kelly, got my stuff from the back row of the VIP, went to the front. There's a girl there, connected with her, lovely lady. And she's like, oh, I was just loving having my arm on this seat because there was nobody there, you know? I was like, I know, but I paid for VIP, so I should be in the front. Little did I know toward the end of the event, it was like the front row seat was like $1,200. It was different from the regular VIP. But the thing is, people like, oh my God, it was an opportunity to be up and close and personal. I did not know that, but what I saw was the opportunity of an empty seat. So it is in business sometimes and in life. There's that empty seat that's waiting for you, but out of fear, what do people think if I move up? What if I don't stay in my seat? Like da da da. I could have been there for the whole time, but I took that leap, and so it is in business. Take that leap, people. Get out of your comfort zone. Like Kelly's saying, do something that you suck at so you get it out of the way and just keep moving, right? And that's gonna build your confidence again by committing to yourself. I also say confidence is loving yourself for who you are unapologetically. Frig what social media wants to say, what you should look like, blah, blah, blah. And confidence is also making other people feel good about themselves in your presence. Not saying confidence walks in the room and says, I'm great and so are you. Arrogance walks in and says, I'm great and you're not. So be the person that makes other people feel better about themselves. And you know I love this topic, Kelly, because I keep going on and on about it, but we don't have as much
the
time.
The sun has set, and I am now much more ghost-like.
You still look gorgeous. Again, see, even that. Why? Like, no negative thoughts. And one thing I want to say, when you said, if clients don't come, or I haven't got clients yet. I want people to start thinking about what that would look like if I had what I wanted, and actually start saying it. Like, but you have to believe it to receive it. Start envisioning the clients ringing down the phone or sending you the emails, or what that new workshop would look like. Envision it, people. Think about it, put it on paper, and then take action. A lot of times when we don't achieve our goals and amplify our passion is because, again, out of fear of failure. What are people going to think? But who really cares about what people think if you're living your life with purpose, with confidence, with intention? It doesn't matter.
It's so true about the visualization, because I'm currently in a launch of a program I'm selling right now, right? So it's like I did a launch before. I did launch in the summer and I didn't get anybody enrolled. And now this time I'm like picturing the enrollments coming in, and all of a sudden they are coming in, and then more are coming, because I will go to sleep at night and I'll wake up and be like, somebody registered for your course. And I'm like, this really happened. Can't make money while you sleep.
There you go, people. It's proof that it works. It works. Okay, but the key is you got to believe it to receive it. Oh my God. Yes, Yolanda, I see your comment. Your higher self, love Africa. Oh, Rachel Hollis. Yeah, there's some novels you never heard of. Same here. I only heard about the one Girl Wash Your Face when she came out. But she said she wrote so many books, but nobody cared. But this one, when she was raw and authentic and just talked about all the crap she was going through, people loved it. Because one thing I know, people love to hear about the challenges. People like to hear about the struggles. They don't want to hear about all the wins and the successes. People don't care about that. They want to know, where were you and how did you get to where you were, so that they can relate. That's a big part about marketing, people. The people got to relate to you. All right, let's finish up with did I ask you all my questions? What does success mean to you? Answered that. What success? Any questions, people, while we wrap up with Kelly? Marketing. You're in your business, you're starting a business, anything around branding. You got 2 PR experts in the room right now. Ask the questions while you can. Let's talk a little bit about success, in the sense of, I know it means to you to have the freedom to be able to take your kids to school, walk them to school. What kind of advice would you give to people around that life of freedom, living that life of freedom?
I feel like right now it's literally like supper time, and normally I would be, having dinner with my family. So sometimes you make choices to come in flexible schedule, right? Sometimes you have to set boundaries if it's something you really don't want to do. So yeah, I mean, that's one for sure, is setting boundaries, right? I think it's a big transition to go from working in a corporate environment or working for somebody else where they tell you when to do what you need to do, and you go home, and especially if you love your business, you have a hard time shutting it off. You're thinking about it all the time. You're like, I just want to go and program a few emails or check my something or other or whatever. I just want to work all the time because I like it. I love it, actually. So, it's a hard thing to make sure that you're giving yourself the break too. Give yourself a break, make sure that you have that recovery time, and fill yourself back up doing other things that you love, so that you can pour back into your business and it doesn't become something that you resent.
That's a great tip. And my new slogan for this year, maybe it's towards the latter of this year, was, if it drains your energy, let it go or outsource it. And I like what you said about creating those healthy boundaries. It's not about saying yes to everything, but whatever you're saying yes to, be intentional about it so that it doesn't take away from what you're doing, but that it gives you more energy, more fulfillment. And then, yeah, the balance, right? We all need balance, that work-life balance with being an entrepreneur, because you could work literally all night because you love what you do, or you're working on the next big thing. But you got to be kind to yourself. You got to get rest, and you got to make sure that you make your schedule work for you. That's a great benefit about being an entrepreneur. So I know you have a class coming up. What is it? Tell me a little bit about it. Your
My program?
branding. Yeah, your program.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah. I have, doors are open right now to my program, Brand Message Mastery. It's about helping you figure out the things that you didn't figure out before you started like doing the marketing stuff. So if you started a Facebook page, or you tried to write website copy, or you like are trying to write emails to an email list, and you don't have the words because you don't really know who you're talking to, this is pulling back and figuring out that actual brand strategy based on my formula of who you are plus who you're for plus why it matters. So it's figuring out what your brand values are, what you stand for, what makes you unique, and allowing you to own that. Figuring out who your niche is, that ideal client, and acknowledging that you can't serve everybody, right? Letting go of the people pleaser syndrome that we all have. And then actually creating the messaging that's going to help you figure out who you're connecting to and the right methods in which to do it, because people aren't everywhere. You got to be focused, right? And then you develop the marketing strategy that's going to fit with that brand message that you have. So yeah, it's called Brand Message Mastery, and you can find it all over my Instagram page.
Perfect. And is there a start date, or do people just enroll as they feel fit?
Oh yeah, so it's actually a virtual like live coaching program. It's not a pre-recorded thing. I'll work with you, make sure that we're answering questions along the way. Nobody's gonna get stuck. You don't have to it's not one of those things for the serial course buyers who just put it on the shelf and never actually take it. Like, you show up. Because I have this way about making show up, like accountability. It's important, right? So that's the thing that I built into that program, and I have some guest trainers and some extra bonuses and some social media training, all part of it too. Yeah.
And it's a one-day workshop, or is it like something that happens once a week, or
6 weeks? Six-week program. It starts November 10th, and it will be wrapped up by Christmas, and then you'll be like so geared to go. Like for the new year, you're going to come to the Boss Up Ladies Seminar, and you're going to get your vision board and your strategy, and you're going to be like so ready to roll.
We're going to be ready to roll. 2021 people. Let's take it to the next level. But you got to show up. That's the thing. So awesome, Kelly. Thank you for coming on. I know that we talked about quite a bit in here, and I hope people got value, a lot of value from what we were saying. Is there any last words you want to share as we wrap up and let you go have some dinner with your family?
I have to go I was trying to get it ready before and get in here, but no. I don't know what's happened to the noodles. They're sitting in water. Maybe nothing now. Those are not my last words.
No.
I guess, I don't know. Oh, I want to say something so quotable right now, but I don't have that coming out of my mouth. But just keep pushing forward, right? Like, when it's hard, it's probably right.
I like that. Did you just create that quote, Kelly? When it's hard, it's probably right. People write that down. You just created your own quote. When it's hard, keep pushing.
When it's hard, it's probably right.
When it's hard, it's probably right. And I resonate with that, because if everything were easy, people, would it be as enjoyable? Sometimes you're on that brink of that breakthrough, and it has to be tough. It has to be. And you feel uncomfortable. And that's when you know you're growing. So if you're at that point in your business, you're on the right track. I want to thank you again, Kelly. How do people connect with you? What's your Instagram handle?
At ks_comms. Yeah, it's ks-communications.ca.
Perfect. So you guys heard she has a brand mastery class coming up November 10th. If you know you need help with your key messaging, your branding, all that stuff, it's a 6-week course. Go join her online. And she's going to go make dinner right now. So we want to let her go eat, figure out dinner, and then go eat. But Kelly, it's been lovely having you. You're really, really enjoyable to chat with.
This was so fun. I feel like I could just keep talking to you forever.
I know, but we got to keep, the thing is, the good thing is, Instagram will cut us off in like 7 minutes anyway. So
Okay.
I don't want that to happen. But if there's anything else, I'm like, people questions. I think the night is always darkest when almost dawn, kinda. Great quote.
Oh,
Thank
cool.
you.
Yeah. Send me
That was
send me a
cool.
DM. I love the DM. So you're just click on my little circle and slide into my DMs and yeah, any questions on anything related to
All
what
right.
we just talked
And
about.
she'll be joining me at the Boss Up seminar. So join and get your tickets, people, NatashaVRussell.com. We're going to get our strategy, our vision, and we're going to shoot 2021 to the next level of greatness in our life and our business. So again, thanks, Kelly.
Amazing.
We'll talk again. We'll connect soon.
Yes.
Enjoy your evening.
Thank you
Thanks
so
again for
much.
joining me.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Okay.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.